bro. It looks cleaner right here, bro. I like the setup in this room call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same here.
All right, man. So Daniel, this is my cousin from Texas, Pedro, PLAP. Right.
Pleasure,
We
man.
just we decided
Pleasure.
to make this podcast, bro, a few months ago, just because we
Mhm.
always wanted to do something different, bro. I felt like I mentioned this time and time again. In most of the podcasts, or at least all the little like clips and snippets that I see on Instagram, usually there's a bunch of people talking nonsense and just
Yeah.
I don't know things that I don't necessarily feel are useful to society, and especially like the people that are coming right behind us, right? Like the kids and the young adults, the teens.
No.
So we decided to make something like this where people that actually are real life people, bro, real life stories with people with that have different trials and tribulations could
Mhm.
like speak their mind. And I know that at least for me, bro, that I really really know you. I know that you don't need any introduction because this is probably like one of the most positive fucking people that I've ever met in my life, bro. Like anywhere Daniel goes, bro, there's a smile on his face and there's a smile on the faces around everyone that he's hanging around with. So, yeah, man, I know that you don't need any introduction, bro, but introduce yourself, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm Daniel, and yeah, like I guess I don't know. I'm just always a positive guy. That's the outcome at the end of the day, you know. I guess a little background for me. I grew up in South Central. For a few years after that, like maybe when I was like in my 20s, I moved out. And I was moving from place to place. Eventually, I settled in Downey, and then right now I'm back in around Willowbrook. But yeah, dude, like it's been a journey, and I'm kind of excited to be here.
No,
So
yeah,
yeah,
like I mentioned, we just wanted to have people that I don't know, bro, like that give some good insight on life and just growing up, bro, and struggling. And I feel like, or I felt that you're one of those people that I could honestly really say, like, hey, this dude, he'll go through some shit, but he'll go through some shit with a smile on his face. And a lot of people, I mean, they
uh,
go through some shit and they'll get through it, bro. But I'm one of those people, bro. I include myself in that list where I'll get through it, bro. But I'm bitching and moaning the whole time, and I feel like you're one of those people that, fuck it, like whatever, life throws at you, you just kind of
yeah.
like take it with a smile, bro. And I just kind of wanted to ask you on your positivity and all that, bro. Like, where does all that stem from?
Like, where does it come from?
Yeah.
I guess it's the mindset I got. I guess like I have been in. I guess like, I've been part of that list too, where like you know life hits you and you're like, fuck, dude, like again, something happened, or you know what I'm talking about, like
Yeah.
shit happens, and you could either let it get to you and stop you from your goal, or you could keep at it, you know keep going, keep pushing. How bad do you want it? What's your goal? Like that's the thing. Like where do you want to be? And that's something that I always have to remind myself, like, you know what, like I may not be where I want to be, but I'm definitely better than what I was before.
Exactly.
And that's what keeps me going often, when I need like to motivate myself. um, it's always important to remember where you're going. That's one of the things that keeps me going. And then, it's always good to keep people like positive around you too. That helps.
That's true. Anything you want to add, Pilap?
No, I just wanted to say, I know we just started the podcast, but you still have that smile on your face,
Yeah.
which is good, and it's crazy because, like you said, man, we have to go through pain. The way I see it is, we have to go through pain in order to see, like you have to go through the rain to see the rainbow after, right? Like
Right.
everything cannot be just rainbow and Skittles and all that. You know how sweet. You have to go through the sour. You have to go through the
No, yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Like, you have to like understand what it is to go through it, to then appreciate. Like when you do make it, or when you do reach that point. It's like I think Alex told me this one time, like the Lamborghini effect. Like you have a guy who has a Honda, and he drives it for a while, and and then you go to a Lamborghini, you're like, holy shit, like it's a big change, and you appreciate it more because you worked for it. You know what I'm saying? Like you drove with that Honda like for years, but you were working, consistency, and then eventually you got that Lambo.
And that's the key, consistency. You know, like
right. Yeah, like consistency is key, man. That's what it's all about, you know. And like that's why I always like admired Alex, and then he's always been at it like from since the day I met him. He's going every step of the way, you know.
Exactly.
Hard work, dedication. That's what he does.
No, yeah, man. I appreciate you and I appreciate your words. I think that you're also a very fascinating person, bro. Because I feel like you do just about anything, bro. Like I feel like if they ask you to, hey, bro, you trying to go to France tomorrow? I'm pretty sure you'd be one of those first few people to be on board that plane, bro. And
can you? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. You know, like
yeah. Go ahead.
I think that's what it's all about. That's what life's about, you know. Like, you guys ever seen the movie Yes Man?
Yeah, that's funny.
There you go. Like, the lesson in that movie is like, sometimes you'll have opportunities in life, and why not? Like, a lot of people just say no because I have this, I have that, whatever, like, and then you miss out on life itself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So. Like that's one of the things that like you learn from that movie. Like, you don't have to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, like that's logically, but within reason, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So, but like, be spontaneous sometimes. Treat yourself. Go out, like, fucking talk to that girl. Go out and be someone, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what it's all about, and then you get these crazy stories that you can tell people later. That's the joy of life.
Like life is about experience, And I was one of those people that I would say yes to basically to everything, but then obviously, like you said, like there's yes at the right time, no at the right time, and knowing where you stand, like boundaries, and you live and you learn and you grow that.
No, yeah, and I feel like Daniel is one of those people, or Chile. Which one do you prefer, bro?
You know what? It doesn't even matter. Like that name's followed me since like elementary, bro. I'm cool with that.
Good.
Danny or Chile, it doesn't matter.
So I want to know why you got that nickname.
I was just gonna ask that to tell us a story.
All right, so. I'll give you guys the quick version, I guess.
Nah, we got time, bro.
Yeah,
throw it out there.
Tell us the long version, bro. The long
version. All right. Well, so I guess one of the things that you guys gotta know before the story is that like I kind of get this mindset from my mom. Mm-hmm. She's like, just you guys how I am. That's kind of how she is. Like, so one day we're just kind of like, yeah, we should go somewhere. And she tells me like, oh, like cover your eyes and pick somewhere. So I picked something on the map, and we landed on Chile. So we go to Santiago de Chile, and we stay there for a couple months. Months became years, and I stayed there for 5 years. So obviously, like after those 5 years, I came back, personal stuff. And I went back to school, and I was telling that story, and the teacher was like, "Oh, that's a great freaking story. We should call you Chile." And I was like, "Cool." And for whatever reason, people guess it's so random that people like it, and then I guess it just stuck till this day.
That's funny.
Nice.
To me, I thought you were gonna say, I bit a jalapeno or something.
No, yeah, and that's what people usually go for. And what's funny is that like I like spicy, but not like that much.
What do you used to tell people, bro? I'm not a what?
I'm not a cannibal.
That's funny, dude.
Nah, yeah, man. I think that with all the positivity you have and the way, I mean, you basically light up our world right now, bro. Our podcast has been going with nothing with a smile, bro. But I don't mean to get too like dark or anything. But was there any moment in your life where you're just like, where that smile kind of fades for a little bit,
Mm.
but you still somehow manage to kind of like reel yourself back in into that mindset and just keep going on with life?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I mean, there's plenty of moments actually.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Um,
Your story,
where,
your
where,
time,
where do I start?
wherever or whatever you feel comfortable with sharing, bro.
I'll build up to the one of the worst ones,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll tell you the first one. One of the
Okay.
first ones. This one always comes to mind. So I'm in college.
Yeah.
This is back in like 2016, 17, give or take. And I'm dating this girl, and um, what's it called? Everything's going good. We've been dating for a couple of months, whatever. I started this new job at a gym.
Mhm.
I used to work for Planet Fitness or Planet Fitness.
Hey.
uh, anyways, so so things just like they're not working out. Like mind you, I'm like 19 at this time. She's like 25, and like the age difference like kind of like caught up a little bit
Mhm.
because I was barely getting a job, and like I couldn't like take us out to dinner or some shit like that. It was rough. It was rough. So we ended up drifting apart, and that day that we did drift apart, um, I had to work graveyard shift. I was tired. I was taking the bus home,
Mhm.
and then I was so tired that like because it was my first time doing graveyard.
Yeah.
I knocked out on the bus. I missed my fucking bus stop like
Damn.
2 or 3 stops away, and then it starts fucking pouring. It starts fucking pouring, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, I missed my stop. It's pouring. My girlfriend broke up with me. I'm like, shit, man. And I'm walking, right? And then to top it off, a fucking car passes by and
Fuck.
fucking splashes me. And at that point, when the car splashed me, I was like, low key, I cried. I cried that day. I was just like, fuck, man. Like, this is the worst fucking day ever. And then I get home all fucking drenched, and I'm taking a shower, and I'm like, what the fuck did I do? Like, holy shit, man. And then it was a little downtime for a little bit, like
Yeah.
cool couple of weeks, and then I started thinking to myself, like, you know what, like this is temporary. Like, why am I gonna let this get to me this much? Like, why am I gonna let this have so much control over how my like
Emotions.
atmosphere is,
Yeah.
Like, and I started thinking to myself, and I'm like, I'm a pretty cool dude. I could bounce back from this. Like,
Yeah.
the fuck. So then from there, little by little, like I guess I started, just going out more. It's always cool when you have like people around you, like the homies, the bros. You can always rely on like people. Whether it's like, oh, let's go to the gym, or oh, let's go freaking, I don't know, hit a bar, or like let's play a game. Um, that little distraction helps a little bit because then like you feel good.
Mhm.
Like Uncle Joey said, you only need 3 motherfuckers to take over. So like, and that's cool. Like that really helps get you like out of that situation.
Yeah.
And then from there, you start picking it up on your own again, and you get back out there. Like that's all it is. Like, it's a minor setback, better comeback. That's all it is.
Yeah. So before you start your next story, bro, I don't mean to interrupt,
Yeah,
but don't you think it's kind of funny, bro, how we go through like one little minor thing, right? Like when you look at your life in a broad perspective, spectrum, basically a broad spectrum. I can't even say that shit. Yeah, but
Broader
basically when
spectrum,
yeah, exactly. So when you look at it in that way, you kind of realize that some of the things that you're going through are very minuscule. Like in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of things, like they don't necessarily matter. But in those moments,
Yeah.
while you're acting out on those emotions, and I mean, I think it's happened to everyone. Like when you're mad or sad and you're acting like it's the end of the world. Like it's funny how like worse things just kind of like pile up, right? It's like when you're mad,
Oh
bro,
yeah,
and then you like kick
absolutely.
something, bro, and like now you're all on the floor crying because your toe hurts. You feel me? And like things just kind of
Right.
like build up on top of each other as you kind of like drown yourself, like you drown yourself in those emotions.
Absolutely. I mean, like the mind is the worst storm, you know.
That's
So
true.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the mind is the mind is a powerful thing, and
Yeah.
one thing that I always tell myself is you never want to act on a temporary emotion to a permanent situation. I mean, do you know what I mean? To that permanent.
Yeah. Like that.
You know.
That's a small situation. You're like, yeah.
And that time that you're going through the worst is like those are the times that mold you. You know what I mean? Those are the times that make you make your character, make you who you are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like we talk about experiences that later on you can share with people. Like, hey, this is what I've been through. And what I like about you, Danny, is that you're going back and you're talking about those stories and you're talking about them, but you're laughing about them. You know?
Absolutely, man.
And that's a beautiful thing. You know? You're right about having three people. I can't really cuss, so I'm trying not to cuss, but you know, to have three people that, or you know, to have that circle of friends that motivate you. That not just motivation, but keep you accountable. I'm trying to be big on accountability. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you shouldn't be doing this. You know, I'm not gonna mention somebody's name, but I have a friend that he's like, hey, bro, keep me accountable on the drinking, on the smoking, and I'm like, okay, bro. And then I'll tell him, and he'll get a little upset. And I'm like, you told me to keep you accountable. You know what I mean? And he's like, oh, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? So so then he's like, okay, I need to stop. So every time he was like, craving one, I'm telling him, hey, bro, remember? And he's like, but I always tell him, bro, you're an adult. You can do whatever you want, man.
Yep.
Like, you know, but you tell me you told me you want me to keep you accountable, and that's what I'm doing. But that's how a friend should be. I'm not the perfect friend.
Trying to be a good friend.
Just keeping track of each other, and honestly, that's what it's supposed to be. But I'll give it back to you.
Yeah, man. That's definitely true. Like, I agree with that. And in life, you're gonna go through many situations, like so many situations, and that's good because you either let those situations break you or make you. You know, and that's why you have to have that strong mindset as well. You know, sometimes it's gonna be something minor and it feels like the end of the world. Sometimes it is something major, and it is the end of the world. But you gotta always remember, this is temporary. It's part of life, and you gotta keep moving forward. Because in the end of the day, like again, if it breaks you, then you're just gonna have to build yourself back up. What do you do when you work out? You have to literally tear your muscles apart to build back up stronger.
Yeah.
You know, that's literally what it is. No pain, no gain, right?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the mindset you gotta have. I guess the next story that's like one of the major ones in my life at least, and you know it's been a process. I'm not gonna lie, it took me like maybe the whole pandemic to like kind of think, process, and get over with it. It was back in 2019, borderline 2020. I lost my father, and you know, due to a heart attack, and that just devastated me. Like I remember I kicked the shit out of a fucking trash can. Then I hurt myself. I was just gone. But in the end of the day, like I still had to go to work. I still had to pay bills. I still had to, you know, like the world doesn't stop for you. You know, you still have to live. You still have to keep going. And in the end of the day, like I kept reminding myself, like, fuck, like, you know, he wouldn't have wanted me to like just, you know, sit there and fucking cry about it. You know, you still got shit to do, and that's something that at least like I'm very grateful that my parents like prepared me for such things. You know, like there's times where we had those conversations and like shit got real, and we're like, oh fuck, okay, you know. And at the end of the day, it's part of life. You know, today like I could talk about it, and like I could now be like, you know what, we had a good time together, we had experiences, and then that's all like inside me, you know, like I have those memories, and I could now be like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm still going through that process, but I'm better than I was yesterday, and I can at least talk about it. And um, with that, with that being said, you'll have dark times. You will. You will. In the end of the day, you're accountable for your own actions, and in the end of the day, you're the only one who's going to either benefit or not benefit from that action. You know, you opportunity cost. You know, what's it worth to you?
Yeah.
That's what you got to ask yourself sometimes. Like this little thing that I'm gonna do, in the end of the day, what am I gonna get out of it? What value does it have in my life? And the moment you start kind of like asking yourself those questions, and then also with the people who's around you, what value do those people add to your life? You know, because sometimes like you'll see someone and you're like, oh man, like I don't know, you should be hanging out with that person, and that's what a good friend does, right? Like they tell you like, you know what, like that person's up to no good, man. Like, and but what value do they have to you? That's what you gotta ask sometimes, and then that's when you start seeing like, if you notice in high school, bunch of fucking friends, bunch of friends everywhere. How many friends you got now?
You can barely count
You know
on
what I'm
one
saying?
hand.
You know, quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And that's very big. That's very big. Because if you ever looked at like videos about people like who talk about some growth or talk about like you know, being a millionaire and shit like that, um, who cares about that, right? But they all say kind of the same thing. Your circle, the circle you're around with, it's gonna develop where you're gonna go. You know, like there's a saying in Spanish. I don't know if you guys speak Spanish.
Yeah.
No,
Everybody.
I don't. I understand.
Yeah, he does, bro. That fool looks like. Nah, he doesn't, bro. He looks almost like Middle Eastern.
Yeah, I got that nopal en la frente. But there's this Spanish saying, dime con quién te juntas y te diré quién eres. Like, tell me who you're hanging out with and I'll tell you who you are.
Yeah.
And there's so much truth behind that. Like, look at the friends around you. That's who you are. Because, you know, like, that's the environment you're in.
Yeah.
Some people, like, they don't believe it. They're like, nah, you know, they're just cool to hang out, you know, kill time, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, like, what are you doing? Like, are they going with your goals? Like, it's cool to have, like, those friends, too, you know? But, like, the people you're around 24/7, or, like, you know, like your workplace, or, like, when you go home and or when you're hanging out, like, are they matching your goals?
Yeah.
That's very important,
Yeah.
you know? Because then if you have a goal and you're not meeting those goals, then that's when you get that mindset of like, oh, fuck, I'm not meeting my goals. I'm not being accountable for this. I'm not doing this. Because what are you doing? Like, what, you're playing video games? You're fucking going out, smoking, drinking?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
When you could be, I don't know, like either going to the gym or you could be maybe starting a corporation or stuff like that, you know? Like, so you want to have your atmosphere resonate with what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important.
Yeah, I think we were just talking about this in the previous podcast with his friend Dominique, and it was true what he was saying about like operating on a thermostat. Like your baseline of where you should always want to be should always be, should always excel a little bit more. So like for example, like he was talking about like how if you always operate at 78 degrees, right? Like you of course always want to like keep bringing the scale upwards because of the fact that you always want to be at a level where you're operating at your highest potential. Basically, you'd never want to be, or get to a point where you're like, I don't know, performing under what you're usually accustomed to, right? Like you always want to make sure that you're always kind of like setting the bar higher for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you something about that. If you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
You always have to be like I always use a metaphor, like kind of be like a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
You want to absorb information. You want to absorb like certain habits that are going to get you where you want to get to, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you got to be looking for. Like people who kind of already have what you want, and then see how they got there. And then you do it yourself. You do the work. That's what's important. And if you have that like work ethic, I guess, that's also a way to find happiness. Like I've been fortunate enough to always kind of like where I'm at and like where I work and my environment, and that's one of the keys also to my happiness. It may not be the best place or like where I want to be, but I'm happy doing it.
Yeah.
Like, and if I'm not, guess what? I'll just leave and find something where I am.
Yeah.
A lot of people say they hate their job, and I'm like, okay, so
leave,
go somewhere else, or like put it like okay, like because some people are gonna be like, oh, but like that's all I got, and blah blah. Okay, dude, I started working at 14. I was a fucking paper boy. I was working for like $50 a month. Back in high school. I really wanted like a cell phone, and I got myself a fucking piece of shit little Android, and that's all I wanted. So I was putting in the work, and then from there I got upgraded to freaking window cleaner. From window cleaner, I did butcher for a little bit. I didn't like that. Yeah, I didn't like that. So then I stopped and I continued my studies. And then from there, I worked on McDonald's at one point, dude.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, and honestly, like, I got humbled. I really got humbled. Because I was just like, oh, like, I'll never work there. And it was in front of my fucking middle school. So I was just like, fuck, dude. Like, and I really got humbled. I was there for like 6 months.
Wow.
I got the experience. I did the work. And I moved on.
Yeah.
And then from there, I went to college, went to the gym. That's where I was working at, the gym. And then from there, like, I always wanted to sell phones. I eventually got the experience to do that. You got to work towards it. That's all it is. Like, if you really want something, go out and get it. But you got to be willing to put in the work.
Exactly. And that's what I always tell people at work. Like, I like me, I consider myself a hard worker. I will put like 12 hours, 15 hours a shift. And you're right about the people that you hang around with. You become, if you hang around with 5 millionaires, you'll become the 6. If you hang around with people that like to read, you want to become a reader. But at work, like, there's times when the hours die down. And people are like so quick to like, I want to leave, right? And then there's times like they're like, man, I wish we had work. I wish I can stay longer. But then, hey, anybody wants to go? Oh, I want to go. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I told my manager, like, I don't come in, yeah, obviously for the hours, but I want to be a student. I want to remain a student. I can learn. I want to learn everything that's available and that I'm given access to, right? But that's one of the things that I really don't understand is when people are like, I want overtime, but when there's overtime, they're complaining. And when there's no overtime, they complain. But they're the first ones that want to leave when the overtime is available. So that's one of the things that's why I stopped hanging around with certain people. That all they want to do is just drink and go to the clubs and do this and do that and smoke. And obviously, like you said, we all have different goals and different paths, right? And you were saying something, Alex, about moderation, like a podcast ago, about doing things in moderation. It's not bad to do different things, but don't let that become your master. You know what I mean? And it's great because, like, I like what you said about being humble. How there's times when I was at my job, I was moving up, right? Moving up, but without the title, and I got humbled. You know what I mean? I went back to what I was doing when I started, and I looked at my hands, and I went from like my hands being clean to my hands being all dirty, and I was just like, I was upset at the beginning, but I was like, I'm a big believer, man. So I'm like, God, I thank you for humbling me, because to be honest, I kind of felt like I was a little all that. You know what I mean? I was like, no, I can't be thinking like that. I can't be thinking that I gotta remain a student, and so I felt like God helped me to go back and restart again.
Absolutely.
I really like what you said. So
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to one of the points that you guys always say about having a good circle, I think that yeah, it's important to have or be like a student of the game, be a sponge, but also I feel like it's also important in a way to also have those people that, in to a certain extent, follow you, because at the same time, just like you want to have mentors, there's people behind you that want to have mentors as well. And if you guys are sponging up information from people that have had the education, have had the experience, like it's also nice to be able to give the people that are looking up to you or following you right after and teach them something. That way, you get me, like when they're your age, they're already a bit far ahead in the game we call life.
mm,
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. It's always important to, I guess, give back.
Mm-hmm.
I personally believe it's good to like put yourself in that position to then be able to give back.
Yeah.
Because there is times where like you want to give back right away, and like, yeah, I made it, cool, like here, this and that,
Yeah.
but you're not there yet.
yeah.
And then people take, and then now you're left with nothing.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So you sometimes, well, especially I guess specifically when it comes to like your business, you have to be a bit of a shark. You gotta be like the one that dominates the area. But again, it's always important to like also learn from people. Um, if you're not in that position, I'd say like you give them like key points here and there.
Yeah.
They also have to put in the work. That's the thing. Like guide people to the right direction, but they have to put the work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the old
Like,
saying, bro, about the horse. Like you could lead the horse, to the lake, but you can't make them, drink out of it.
Right. That's the thing. Like, because a lot of people want to be like spoon fed too, and they're used to that, And a lot of people. That's why I say it's important to sometimes like have those experiences, have those failures, have those hard times, because then you're gonna appreciate the good times. They need to have that too. They need to have those experiences. So that's why it's important to like try new things, do new things, see what you like, figure things out. Because if you don't, then you're gonna be stuck like, fuck, I don't know what to do. Like what I want out of life. And then that's when you start getting those thoughts when you're alone, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you want to do more, but it's like there's times when you're like, am I like we get like I guess like content. We get sometimes we get clouded. You know what I mean? Like, man, I want to do more, but can I do more, or am I or doing enough? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and like there's times when, and you're right, bro. Like when I was telling you when I was going through the whole process of moving up, and I said this like last podcast too. Like I was moving up, and then they put somebody else doing what I was doing, and I went back to doing what I really had started. And I was not jealous. I was just like, I was upset, because who doesn't want to be the best at what they do? What Pedro always tells me, because I told him about it. He's like, bro, he told me, like, bro, like, you do everything. You got to make sure that you do one thing and do it the best that you can.
Yeah.
Right? But then I was like, I had to, like I said, I got humbled, and I had to, like, you know what? I want to tell this person, like, that the person that took kind of like my place, like, hey, you're doing a great job. Like, hey, this is like, cause like I was saying at the time, like we're all about empowering leaders, and I'm all about this and that. But now I'm being a hypocrite because now I'm over here thinking, heck no, he took my, you know what I mean? He took it from me. So I had to go back and be like, hey, bro, I apologize. Hey, I think if you do it like this, it would work out. Try to give him some tips so he can grow, so he can become great. You know what I mean? And then I was talking to my director, and he was like, Pedro, maybe one day you will take my job. And it kind of made me think, like, and he didn't want because he was an assistant director, and then there was an opening for director, and he's like, no, I don't want it. I want to stay where I'm at, and to me, it's crazy because the more you go up, the less time you have with your family, right? Yeah. So it's like everything, success. If you cannot handle success, if you cannot handle stress, you cannot handle success. And I learned that, and because I get anxiety really quick. So when there's a lot of people coming to you, I'm like, boom, boom, you know what I mean? And then you gotta, gotta talk to management. You gotta, so it's always good to be organized and not just organized, but knowing what you want out of life. Obviously, stay humble, but always ask yourself a question. And this is what I try to ask myself a lot: is like, what do I want out of life? Do I want to continue being where I'm at? And when you were talking about you love going to work, I picture in my mind you waking up with a huge smile on your face.
Yeah, man. Every day.
And I think it was you, Alex, that said. I don't know if it was you that said if you don't like, if you don't, if you, it's not really doing what you love, right? I don't know if you said that, but it's like it's not if you don't, it's not considered work if you love doing it, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was you that was saying that it's still work, even if you love it, it's still work. It's still considered work. Love is like your hobbies, like something that you're not getting paid for. Like, are you doing those things? Are you still doing those things? And I don't want to put words in your mouth either, Alex. So correct me if I'm wrong, but to me, I mean, I believe big on that.
Bro, I don't recall. Shit.
I don't know if it was you. I was talking to Gary yesterday too. So like I said, I don't know if it was you or if it was Gary or Dominique, but I really can't recall who said it.
Yeah, it's just I feel like every conversation that I have with people is very genuine, or at least I try to make it that way. And sometimes I just kind of like, I mean, I lose myself in so many conversations, and being at a gym, bro, where I'm constantly interacting with people. Sometimes it's like, first of all, they always kind of like expect you to remember their fucking name, even though it's like a class of like 20, 25 people. But there's so many conversations going on at times. But at the same time, it goes back to what I've said before, right? Like interactions like these, or even like a small 5 minute interactions, like I just kind of want to give everything and just as I mentioned time and time again, just give everybody the best 5 minutes of my life or their life, right? Or my time. So I just kind of like want to make certain moments memorable, even though like for me sometimes those moments aren't that memorable. So sometimes that's why like I'll give people like good tips, good advice, in my honest opinion, but then I won't necessarily remember them, bro, because I mean without sounding disrespectful, bro, like those are not like my moments that actually like pop to mind where I'm like, oh yeah, bro, like I gave that fool some sick ass advice. Nah, bro, like for them it could be really great, but for me, like sometimes the moment in itself, it doesn't really matter with all due respect, but I do give them the best 5 minutes of my time if possible. I don't know if that kind of makes sense to you guys.
Yeah.
Like it's a moment that will stand out to them, but for me, it's just kind of for the most part like a day to day daily conversation or interaction. Yeah, like I don't I think I sounded a bit like a dick right there. but but yeah, bro, like I just try to make things memorable for people, and at the same time like I'm saying like there's too much interactions, and at the same time it's just too much, bro. But I probably did say that. I'm not sure, bro. Like I would have to I would have to go back
No, no,
and look at it.
no, no. Like I said, bro, it's because these type of conversations I'm having with, like with Gary, with Dominique, with yourself. So that's why I'm just like, I don't really have a lot of people that talk like we talk.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't, and that's why I love doing this. I'm really uncomfortable doing this like podcast, but like I was telling you, Alex, like I gotta break that shell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said, is I don't really have a lot of people that talk like we talk. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if it was you or who it was, but maybe it says something about me, like it's always about reflection, like I got to work on myself more on remembering names as well, because I suck. I suck at remembering that, especially working at a warehouse where you work with 100 and plus people, and they're like, "Hey," and I'm like, I want to ask them what's their name, and I'm like, "Hey, what's your name?" Towards the end of the conversation, you forgot, and I'm like, I was talking to you for. I'm like, I'm sorry, man, I forgot, And then I tell them I'm bad with names, and they're like, I'm bad with names too, and I like just wear a name tag, damn it, you know what I mean? But yeah, man.
Yeah, I want to say something, and I think that Daniel's a good witness to it. I wasn't necessarily the person that would just randomly talk to people. I think, like, for the most part, I'd be a pretty quiet kid. I remember even, like, starting on YouTube, I was fucking kind of nervous to even do, like, voiceovers or do all that stuff. Daniel could tell you. And I remember like the first time that I've actually had to teach like a legit class, bro, with 20 people. Like, keep in mind, bro, like imagine I can't even fucking like do a voiceover, or can't even really talk behind a computer screen with the screen not even on, or like the video, like there's no video recording. And so for me, it's just like, fuck, dude. Like, it goes back to like what Daniel was saying, like make or break, bro. Like, do you really want it? Is this the direction that you're trying to go to? And so, I mean, like the old saying goes, you just gotta grab your balls, bro, and just fucking go through with it. And basically, that's kind of
Oh, it
like how I
is.
slowly started to get out my shell, bro. But but Daniel will tell you, bro, I didn't
Yeah.
necessarily like to talk. Like, I remember when I went into to high school. Keep in mind, I was coming from deep in South Central, now going to Southgate. I didn't know anybody. Like, I didn't have any friends, and literally, I remember Daniel was one of those first few people that actually talked to me, and it was in PE, I believe. We didn't have the same PE teacher, but we were like in the same block, and he was one of the first people to actually talk to me. And at the same time, I think that was like the first time I had talked in school, like in the last like maybe like 3 days or anything. I don't even know when was the first time that he talked to me, but yeah, bro, like I learned those skills as well. Those communication skills were something. Maybe I didn't learn them, but they were kind of like forced into me, because it's like if I don't do it, like it's a sink or swim, bro. Like if I don't do them, I'll just fucking drown here.
So that was I was gonna ask that question. Is like, how did you guys meet? Like, but obviously you kind of said it already. But
Yeah, high school.
Let Daniel tell our love story, bro.
yeah, I want to hear this. I want to hear this love story.
Tell us, Daniel.
Let's see. So I know for sure I think we first met at PE.
Yeah.
And then from there we would talk here and there.
Yeah.
And then from there, like it was a point where like I think you had your group, I had my group, and then eventually I think it was around either 11th grade or 12th grade where we
probably
had another class together.
Yeah.
It was an English class, right?
Oh yeah, remember we didn't have fucking teachers.
And it was just like a fuck around class,
Yeah, basically, bro.
And then from there, I think it was when a common friend of ours, Sosa.
Yeah, Sosa.
He invited me to his house, and then he was like, "Oh, like I have a friend right here," and I was like, "Oh shit, you know this guy?" I was like, "He lives over here." I was like, "What the fuck?" So then from there, we just started getting like more like familiar, and at this time, I think he was like starting to work out at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like he would invite me since like we're literally like one block away.
One street away.
Yeah, one street away. Yeah, like not even a block, like whole street. Like so, it was just like a walking distance, And then like for a little bit, like every day, like we're going like working out, and then next thing you know, we're talking about this like YouTube videos, and I was like, oh shit, okay, how are we gonna start? Well, we start with a fucking phone.
Yeah. Hey,
and
tell the people something. Remember when we used to work out, when we didn't have weights, what did we use?
the mic check method, or which one?
Yeah, that, and what else with the buckets? What do you used to put in the buckets?
Fucking bricks, fucking milk jugs, fucking improvise, adapt, overcome. Man.
That's right.
That's what it's all about. We're working what we got.
Yeah, talking about that, like right now when you finish telling the story, I want to ask you something very important about that.
Yeah. And then like it's cool. Like you could even like still go check those videos out. Like
yeah, let's start there.
I want to watch those videos.
Yeah, absolutely. You
can check it out
his channel.
Yeah.
And it's always cool. Like look back at it. Even though it was like not the best or like where we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
It's always cool. Like look back at it and be like, damn, like that's where we started.
Yeah, it came a long way.
We're young and
humble beginnings.
Yeah.
Because I remember when Alex really started the was it the Apex, right?
Apex
Dream Fighter.
How you started, and then the quality was bad, bro. But it was persistence, consistency. That obviously you started seeing growth, and you got a better camera, and et cetera, and
Yeah, man. Like just kept at it, and turned it around. Like no matter like if people came and went, like he still kept at it, like just kept being consistent. Like today, like he has like this badass page, fucking this whole freaking YouTube thing going. Like it's good, and it's reaching people from like all over the place. And that's something that, like, in the end of the day, like that's your legacy, bro. You're leaving something behind, your knowledge, your skills. Like you're passing that down to people who want to learn.
Yeah.
So I think that's great.
Yeah, you said something very important, bro. Improvise, adapt, overcome. And that's a philosophy that I want to touch upon right now. But at the same time, I just kind of want you to know something really important. I recently read, well, nah, it's been quite a long time, bro. As a matter of fact, I actually gave that book away to a friend in Vegas. So if Alexander's watching it, shout out to Alex. But yeah, it was called The PMA Effect by John Joseph. And basically, it was a philosophy book on just positive mental attitude. And every time I would read that book, bro, and how he talked about like overcoming stuff or dealing with certain things, because the whole point of the book, bro, is basically giving people like, like it basically goes into problems that most people will actually have throughout their lifetime, and just kind of like the way that if you have a positive mindset, like you're able to get through them. And so like every time I would read that book, because I read it like 2 or 3 times, like I would always think of you, bro. I was like, damn, this is probably like this was philosophy, right? But then of course, like you started your own things, right? Like you ended up going into the clothing business, and then one of your favorite sayings is of course improvise, adapt, overcome, which I believe comes from the Zen philosophy, right? So I just kind of want to touch upon that and like what it means to you and how's your clothing brand going and basically the ins and out of your business, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Funny thing about that phrase, a lot of people don't know about this, but I got that from a meme.
Mm-hmm.
And but then, like, here's the thing though, it doesn't matter where you get things from or how you like come up with something. In the end of the day, it's like what it means to you and what you make out of it, and that's why I always liked watching like freaking those like karate movies and shit when they're like, oh, wax on, wax off, and you get some badass skills out of it.
Yeah.
It's the mindset, it's the perspective, and I always say like perspective is everything, and then like with that being said, like going to like the clothing brand and all that, I have my own business aside from my job. So I'm actually wearing one of the shirts right now.
So show it out for the people, dog. That's right.
Kaizen goods.
Yeah.
And it's going great. Like honestly, like I've come a long, long way, and I can't stress that enough. I started from literally printing fucking images and sticking them on shirts like with a fucking iron. And until like eventually, I started investing a little bit. I got the machinery for it, and then I'm at a point where like I'm even working with another company to fulfill and make these like higher quality designs. So like before Kaizen Goods, the company was called Majestic Generation. I always encountered situations where like the people who I was working with, unfortunately, like they didn't have that same drive, they didn't have that same vision. So, a lot of people came and went, and to this day, like, I'm still kind of like finding and looking for that person that's gonna be like, let's fucking do it and blah blah. But I'm not also like fully waiting. Like I'm also doing it myself, and I'm taking it where it is now. Where like we have a website. We have a place. You could go to the website right now and just like order something automatic. Like I already have it automatic.
That's cool.
So like it's badass. Like, and to me that's like a passive income right now. And all you gotta do is just set it up. That's it. Like one day I was just literally watching a few like videos how to do it, and there you go. Set it up. Free knowledge on YouTube. That's all it was. And then I guess I'll show you guys one of my cards too. So, like I got a little business card with everything. I got the QR code. It's a few of the designs. Gotta make a cool little logo for us.
So sick.
What is it called?
Kaizen's Goods.
And how did you get the name?
Oh, so the name, actually, so before Majestic, then it was Zen for a while. Zen, I like the whole like Zen idea, like peace and tranquility, all that stuff. Yeah. Because I guess I considered myself at the time like a pretty Zen guy. I'm always, like anyone who like knows me, like they know like I'm a pretty chill dude. Yeah. And later on, I came across this thing called Kaizen, and then I was just like, what does that mean? And then when I looked it up one day. It means continuous improvement.
Wow.
So then I was like, dude, that's what I'm about. Like that resonated within me. Like I was just like, dude, yes. And then like, it's actually a Japanese word. I'm really into like Japanese culture. I love Japanese culture. So it just spoke to me, one day, and I was like, I'm gonna make this my thing, and like so for a bit, like it was just like Kaizen everything, Kaizen. Like to this day, like the name of my like watch is Kaizen watch, Kaizen this, Kaizen that,
Kaizen Rangers go,
Kaizen Rangers go, and it's at a point where like it was an obsession, and I was like, but that's how it is. Like you have to be obsessed with what you love, because then you're not gonna back on.
Yeah.
You're not gonna back on it. Like, so that spoke to me, and from then, like, I've just been at it since then. Like, I've been at it for about like 2 years with this name, and I would say like I love it. To this day, like all I have to do now is just promote it, basically promote more.
Yeah, and your designs, a lot of them, are they original or they're from?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We actually have a designer in I believe he's from either Philippines or Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta check back on him. But yeah, we have a designer. He's the one who made most of our designs.
Mm-hmm.
From there, we could either because you could also like go to a website and like purchase like certain like copyrights.
Mm-hmm.
There's also partnerships that you could do. There's many ways to get like designs because like you want to get like more like the mainstream stuff. You can, but you just have to do a partnership with the ones who own the copyrights.
Okay.
Copyrights is a huge thing.
Yeah, and the designs, do you come up with, or it's like a team thing, or you guys both decide on something?
Yeah. So I get the general idea, like I guess like the rough draft.
Yeah.
And then from there, like I get someone like who's professional or like they have like more experience in like design and drawing and stuff. So then from there, it's a small process really. Like I just come up with like, like I want this and that, and then I'll work with the artist, and they'll tell me like, oh, like they'll sketch up something, and I'll be like, okay, cool. Like maybe can you change that, and adjust this, or I wanted this color this way, and then that's when we eventually get the final product. I basically then from there go make the shirts, and so like I said, I work with a business who helps me fulfill all this. Then they make it.
And your ideas, do you come up with them like on the spot, or do you take some time out of your day to come up with them, or how do your ideas come to life?
So sometimes they just literally come to me, like like that's like straight up. This one right here, for example. I wanted to make something quick and easy. Yeah. Literally, this took me like 15 minutes to make, probably.
Oh shit.
I was just like reading some manga, and I was like, oh, you know what? This would be pretty cool. Like, slap the logo or like just the name like around the borders. Slap a girl with like a little sword on it, and then our colors are red and black. So because I love red.
Yeah. Chile with the Chile.
Yeah, I guess it goes with it, right? So like, I love red. So, and I was like, you know what? There's people out there who like that too, and that's another thing. I try my best to like put things that I like because then I know it's gonna go out there. There was a time where I put like whatever, like try to cater to everyone and stuff like that. That's like you can't cater to everyone.
Yeah.
You could try, but you gotta like if it's something that you're passionate about, other people are gonna feel that passion. You know, and that's how I'm going about it right now. Like I want to be like super passionate about my work. I want to be super passionate about what I do, and that might resonate or spark something in someone else. Yeah.
You want to add something, Peter?
Yeah, no. I was just gonna say, no. You have a really great design, and that's cool that you didn't let obstacles stop you. You know that even though you were in the process of just like ironing images to a shirt to now like having your own company. You know, not many people can say that. So congratulations. I wish you nothing but success. I know you. I can tell you. I mean, I don't know you, but I can tell you're a hard worker and you're very persistent with it. You're very joyful with it, you know, and that's gonna take you a long way, man. Like you can be struggling or whatever, but it's gonna take you a long way. And now with catering other people, and like you said, you can't please everybody, you know. There's a time when I was making music consistently, but they would be like, "Man, you sound like Eminem. You should rap like this, or you should rap like that." And then when I would rap like that, oh, you don't sound like you're passionate about it. So I kind of wanted to, you know. So it's like you said, you can't please everybody. So if you love what you do and you're doing it how the best of your ability, it's gonna sound wrong, but you can't really please them. You know what I mean? It's about your gift and your passion, just like everybody else has their own. But nah, man, congratulations on that, and I want to order a shirt.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll send you the link.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, one thing that you touched upon, and I think this is probably like a subject that you guys are both gonna enjoy. You talked about loving Japanese culture, bro. And I know that you're really big into anime, and I know that one of your favorite animes is, of course, the good old classic, bro, Dragon Ball Z. The guy, the Texas guy in this room also is a big fan of Dragon Ball Z, bro, and yeah, we just kind of want to touch upon that, bro. I know that you guys are really, really passionate about it. So
you better like Goku, man.
You heard him, bro. You better like Goku. No, yeah, man. But like, you know, let's just talk about like the most recent thing, man. You know, did you enjoy the movie? Did you enjoy the new animation style? Like, what did you think about like the whole production of that film?
The Heroes?
Yeah, the Heroes.
Oh, okay. So, great fucking film. But what's it called? I will say this. I'll come up with my critiques first, and then I'll say what I love about it.
Okay.
All right. So, I like the whole transformation thing. I didn't like how he got it. Piccolo. But because you know, like it was about time that he got some sort of transformation.
Yeah.
I just didn't like how he got it, but you know, it is what it is. Like I guess they didn't give him enough time. But other than that, badass transformation. Gohan Beast, beautiful. And I also like the ending too, when like Vegeta finally gets to win.
Oh yeah.
So like you know they had that whole like bro thing going, and they're like,
yeah. I literally had to watch them. I paid for the movie twice.
Oh no.
The first time I seen it, I was like, okay, cool. I love it. I don't love the animation because it looked like a video game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I do like the concept of it. I do like how, you know, they're trying to investigate on the whole thing and whatever. But like I said, I had to rewatch it because the first time, if the credits finished, I left. And then my brother's like, hey, did you see the ending with Goku and Vegeta? I'm like, crap. I didn't. So I had to go. I was like, okay, let me go back to the movies. And I seen it, and then I was like, wow, that's crazy, you know? Vegeta, to me, I'm a big Goku fan, like Goku fan. But I also like Vegeta. You know, Vegeta obviously, like, you can't really compare both of them because I know they say, Goku's the favorite, you know, whatever. And then, well, Vegeta, he's always behind. You know, he's always like one step behind, trying to get better. And like me and my gym partner, he's like my gym partner's like, I'm Goku, and he So he's like, "You're Vegeta. You're behind me." And I'm like,
No.
and
No.
I was like, well, I told him like one day I'm gonna get there, you know. But you know, you gotta give respect where respect is due. But did you like the animation? Did you like?
You know what? At first, it did throw me off a little bit. I was just kind of like, okay, all right, let's see how it goes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I got to the fight scene, I was just like, oh shit! I could see why they did it. Like it's a faster animation.
Yeah.
But it does not compare to the animation from the Broly film.
Mm-hmm.
That animation was wow. So I mean, I missed that, you know.
Can I say something? Okay, so do you like Dragon Ball Z or do you like Super?
Honestly,
I don't mean the movie superheroes. I mean like Super, like just
Yeah, the anime.
Yeah.
To be honest, you can't beat Z. Super, even though they give us like new transformations and like literally broke the internet.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit like the same way like when you first get Super Saiyan. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole like hour fight or like I don't even know how long like episodes like the build up. Like it doesn't hit the same. But you watch for the nostalgia and like it's a new story too. Like you see a lot of the old characters and like better animation and stuff. But just hits different. DBZ like way different.
Yeah, I do like DBZ too. I like the way that there was like more blood. It felt
right. That's what I'm saying.
It felt like more not realistic, but it's for some reason it's like Goku had that serious side.
Right.
And on Super they had him like
it's more like Kid Down or like
a little funny or whatever. But
yeah,
I do like both just because
No, for sure. Like I like both too, but like just Z hits different. Yeah.
Who's your favorite character and why?
Favorite character? It's between Roshi or Broly.
What?
Yeah.
I was not expecting that answer.
Hey, yeah. Hey, talking about that, what do you think about like the characters that are now found in the movies are actually coming into the film? Because you know how back in the days people used to make the DBZ what is it, Toriyama or what's the company? Toriyama. They used to produce
animation.
like films that didn't necessarily go with the storyline, right? Like so they had like they had what was it, Turtles, then they had
like
Lord
you mean like the non-canon film?
Yeah, like what are your thoughts on like now adding, like making those movies part of the series, bro? Because now Brody,
making them canon.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like, I guess specifically with the Broly film, I love that they did that. Like that was dope. Like they added a bit of like Saiyan like heritage.
Mm-hmm.
So like the fact that they brought that back and like because there was a couple times where like Toriyama he forgot about like the whole like tail thing,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh dude, they brought that back. Like that's badass. And then they gave us Bardock. They finally gave us Goku's mom.
Yeah.
What's her name? Gin, I think.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, that's badass. Like we've never seen her animated. We've only seen her like in the manga.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was cool that they brought that, and then like they even brought a freaking Gogeta.
Oh yeah.
Gogeta Blue. Like, dude, like what the hell? That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
And then making that canon because he's never been canon.
Yeah.
You've only seen him in the movies.
Yeah, in the movies.
But now he's canon. We're like, oh, we know that you get some cool shit.
Yeah, he looked cool as fuck.
yeah. Yeah, so like that's what I like about that, and then now that like at least there's a future for like the franchise, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I remember watching Gogeta for the first time. I believe it was against Janemba, right? When they're in hell.
Yeah, Janemba.
Yeah, that shit was clean, bro. And the animation to that shit was fucking badass too, bro.
That was still good.
Yeah, that shit was still good. Yeah, so I remember watching that, bro. And then when I seen the new movie, I mean, the animation, of course, is a little different, bro. But he still looked badass, bro. And I don't know, like I was just like, damn, bro, like this shit has changed so much. And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like I remember I had started watching Super with you because I remember like we would watch it like at the beginning, but then I stopped, bro. I just literally was just like, fuck it. And so I literally finished watching like Super completely because even though I didn't see it, you know how like you could always find like snippets of it. so you could just
Yeah.
easily follow along. But I just basically seen it last year, like completely in its entirety. And yeah, like I mean, I'm not really a super big fan, bro. Like I know that this might sound controversial, bro, but I felt like I fucking love GT more than I love Super, bro. And
No, I mean,
I know
like
people are gonna hate me
GT
for
was
that.
cool.
Yeah, I know
GT was
people are
cool.
gonna hate me for that. 'Cause like, how do you like that shit, bro? But
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was I don't know, bro. My honest opinion, I thought it was I thought it was cooler than Super.
The thing is that with GT, like they still maintain like certain aspects of like DBZ.
Mhm.
Um, there was still same animation. You see a lot of the same characters. You got a little bit
The
the same
tail.
voice actors too from Dragon Ball days.
Yeah.
So that's what like kind of brought back that nostalgia and like and it was cool. And then you got also Super Saiyan 4. You got good villains like Baby,
Mm-hmm. The
or
Shenrons.
Omega Shenron.
Yeah.
Like so it gives you like a little concept too. Like it stayed within the plot of like what Dragon Ball is.
Mhm.
Like you're still chasing the Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
Super, they only brought it like a few times, yeah.
Yeah.
But like now it's all about who's more stronger, who's like who has the God Key, who's more powerful. It's still cool to watch. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it drifted away from that main plot of like finding the Dragon Balls for whatever scenario.
And it's crazy that when Alex mentioned that you into anime, I didn't think you were into Dragon Ball Z or anything. I just thought seeing your shirt, I thought you were into like Demon Slayer.
Yeah, Demon Slayer's a good one too.
Hey, you're gonna watch the new movie?
Of course.
Yeah.
and I wasn't really because I was really skeptical on just watching because I watched One Piece and I really wasn't into it.
Mhm.
So I know Alex told me about Demon Slayer and I was like, I don't know, but then like I watched the first episode and it just started quick. Okay, and I just got into it. I got into it more and more and more. I just didn't like that they were instead of you couldn't really see them talking. It was just like all in the mind, I guess you can say. That's just the only thing that I didn't like, but it grew on me. I like the concept. Yeah. I feel like those two are like other than Naruto, like those two animes are like very good to me. Like I like them, and I'm gonna watch them.
Yeah, definitely did. I guess like one of my top 3 or top 5 maybe. Dragon Ball Z all the way. I like the OG one actually.
Oh,
Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Little Goku.
Because Dragon Ball like it's more like
savage.
yeah, like it's all about like the fighting, the skill, and like like Goku like getting better little by little.
Yeah, it was actually hand in hand. That's why.
Hand in hand, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like as much as like who has the more like power level and shit. Like they were still in the 9,000s.
That line is classic.
And fun fact about that, it was actually a dub mistake.
Oh, for real?
From our part. Yeah.
Oh,
it's actually supposed to be 8,000.
Oh.
Yeah, so you guys didn't know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it was a mistake, but they kept it because it sounds so good.
Yeah.
So in the dub, that's only a dub thing.
That's crazy.
That shit sounds good.
Yeah. You can tell I like the anime because I know all these things.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's why I wanted to have you on, bro, because my cousin, like I'm telling you, he doesn't really watch that much anime, but he's a very big fanatic on Dragon Ball, bro, and since he's always like posting on Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, like motivational Dragon Ball shit, I'm like, dude, like I gotta have you on.
But if I thought that I was a big Dragon Ball fan, I guess like you took that bad. I did not know that.
I love Dragon Ball, man. That's my shit.
And it's funny because like now you have a big smile talking about struggles, but Dragon Ball the topic Dragon Ball came up and your whole face. Like,
he turned Super Saiyan.
Like bro, like
3.
I could even see your dimples from over here, bro.
Yeah, man. Like I love the Dragon Ball franchise. Like it just to me like watching it as a kid, watching it now as an adult, like seeing how like it's still impactful to like a lot of people too. Like it's big in Mexico too. I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah, Latin America, bro.
Latin America in general, like it's big everywhere. Like it's gone worldwide, and Yeah, it's just something I'm passionate about, you know.
Yeah, well, like if you even look, like if you even like chill, like in the neighborhood, like the cholos will know. Hey, fool, you watch Dragon
Dude,
Ball,
yeah,
fool? Like yeah,
yeah,
like
bro.
everybody knows who fucking Goku is. Like, hey, fool, is that Goku?
Yeah, dude, like
funny. That's funny. Because even okay, so check this out. Well, a lot of people know who Goku is, but they don't know baby Goku. So one time I had a shirt that had Goku. He was a baby, but he was like kind of like when he's like in the tube.
oh, okay.
But he doesn't. Obviously, he's naked, right? But obviously, like all you can see is his tail, right? So I was at work, and my boss is like, "Hey, Pedro, come to the office." So I go to the office. He's like, "You have a baby that's naked on your shirt?" And I was like, "No, bro." So my manager says that, right? And then the director, which is older than him, who's like, "Bro, you don't know who Goku is?" he's like, "No." He's like, he's like, I was about to tell him to change his shirt, and the director was like, "No, bro, that's Goku." He's like, "I'm very disappointed." You know what I mean? But I was almost sent to HR. You know? but like you're right though. A lot of people know because I also have like my Goku hat and everything, and I take it to work, and even the girls is like, "Oh, I like your Goku shirt. I like your Goku hat." You know, is that Goku, huh? And I was like, "Yeah, that's Goku." But yeah, man, that's crazy though. That's crazy, man. I can't believe I'm not the biggest fan.
You're the second biggest fan now.
I'm a little disappointed on myself. You know?
Nah, you're good, man. You know what? I didn't even get to ask you, like, who's your favorite character? Just Goku, or?
No, I like Goku. I like Goku, man. But reason being is because I started going to the gym. Like, obviously, I like a lot of the characters, but I resonate more with Goku just because, like, even though that there's a lot of struggles, you know, like. I feel like if he can, I don't think he's a fictional character, so people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, he's not real." You know what I mean? But like, because I had that conversation with people before, they tell me, and I tell them why. They're like, "Well, he's fake," you know. But I'm like, no, but I can take that into my day-to-day life where I'm working out, or
absolutely,
and kind of like the quotes that he has, right? Like, if you want to get better, you got to keep on training, right? And then I tell myself when I'm at the gym, because I love going to the gym, so it's like, and I keep that in my mind. If I want to get better, I got to keep training no matter the pain, no matter what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So that's why I like him. But I do like Vegeta. I like Krillin. You know, don't get me wrong. I do like Yamcha too.
Yamcha sama.
I do like Yamcha, but if I can name 5 characters, I'll say obviously Goku, Vegeta, Krillin. I do like Master Roshi, and let me see who else.
Master Roshi's dope.
Yeah, Master Roshi, he's dope. On Tournament of Power, like I kind of became a bigger fan of Master Roshi too.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
It was beautiful. Like out of Super, the Tournament of Power was like the best. I'm just like, and I'm gonna tell you the funny story, bro. Because last year when I started watching Super? Because I didn't even know that Super was out. But my friend, because I didn't have Hulu at the time, so I just kind of like neglected all of that and just started watching like my wife and kids and all that other stuff. And he told me, did you watch Super? I'm like, Super? And then my nieces live with me, right? And so I would used to take them to school and pick them up from school. So like every day I'll come home, I'll watch an episode or 2, I'll go to sleep, wake up, I'll take them to school, come back, watch another 2 episodes, you know, I'll repeat. And then 2 episodes before I go to work, 2 episodes, and I was just like, damn it, nice. I want to finish it already, you know?
Yeah.
I almost took a whole week off just to finish watching it, you know? But and then my other favorite character, I love Trunks. You know, but I like Gohan too. I love Trunks. I love Gohan. I just didn't like what they did to Trunks. I mean,
they messed them up on Super.
And with Gohan too. I didn't like how they did Gohan either, you know?
Yeah.
But I did like the transformation and superheroes. Going back again, I just didn't like the animation. But overall, I do like what the franchise is about, you know?
Yeah.
It's about, obviously, family, obviously, like, getting stronger, getting better, you know, each day and all of that. And yeah, other than that, those are my favorite characters.
Absolutely. Man.
But why do you like Roshi though? Like, why did you like? Because I was shocked by that. I thought you were gonna say like somebody else, but
yeah, usually it's all about the sayings and stuff, right? But I like the fundamentals. I like how
the woman, right? Understand?
that's part of it, right? But no. So like, I guess like with Roshi, like he's the first master that Goku encountered, and he taught him the Kameha. He still held up on Super. He pulled his own weight. He has all this knowledge, and like it was all about teaching like Krillin and Goku. But like he's kind of like almost the strongest human there too.
Yeah.
And he could still like put up with like everything.
Yeah.
Like coming in clutch with that Mafuba and all that stuff. Like he's an interesting character, and like I just love that like he's still like relevant in the story, and like then he gets like his little buff form, like
Yeah.
that's how things get serious,
Yeah.
And so like I just love him as a character in general. Like I think he's cool, and he's funny. So he's funny as fuck too. Like he could like switch from like being funny and like the pervy guy or whatever. But then like when like shit hits the fan, like he's there to like
ready to go.
He means business, yeah.
And what I did like about Roshi is that in the Tournament of Power, how he had to kind of overcome that pervertness, like
right.
And I love that, because obviously we're men, right, and we like women, I hope,
I hope.
and so there's times when I'm at the gym, bro, and I'm working out, and there's like a girl like in front of me, like bending over, and then I have to like look away, and I'm just like, I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be caught on video, like, oh, look at this perfect guy, just because I stared.
You're gonna end up on a TikTok.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I'm also trying to overcome as a man as well. Like, obviously controlling not just my emotions, but controlling like everything. You know what I mean? Controlling what I see, controlling what you listen to, because what you see and what you listen to, that's kind of what you become. So that's why I like to watch like leadership videos and try to develop the mind, try to develop like my skills to talk. I'm not there yet, but it's all about growth and development.
Yeah, so. absolutely. Yeah. What about you, Alex? What's your favorite character?
Yeah, Alex.
Damn, dog. Nah, my favorite character, bro, is I like Gogeta, bro. Honestly, that's my favorite character. That's my favorite character, bro. I also like Future Trunks, not the sappy one that we got, but the one beforehand. And then I'm also a real big fan of Broly, bro. Honestly, like other than that, like Goku's cool too, bro. But I don't know, man.
Overrated, right?
Overrated, bro. Not just playing. Goku's cool, bro, but I don't know. Like I just feel like those other characters, I feel like are a little bit more. I want to say like Vegeta is one of those characters, bro, that you could resonate with more. Like the struggle of just trying to basically get to where. He basically has a reference point that he's trying to get to and overpass, bro, which I feel like it's most of our lives. You get me? Like, at least most of us that come from like a struggle, we're always trying to get somewhere, but we also know that when we get somewhere, like we have to push a little bit more, bro, to either maintain ourselves at that level, bro, or push past that plateau. So he's one of those characters that I always found very interesting. And Gogeta, I mean, I like him, bro, honestly, because it's like the best of both worlds, bro. You have Goku, which I'm a fan of regardless, bro, and Vegeta, right? So that's why, like, I have him as number one. And I like them, like, because I'm telling you, like, I remember watching the Janemba movie. That was one of the first films I believed I watched, bro. I believed I watched as a kid. And so, like, it was just one of those films that just kind of, like, resonated with me. And then, of course, when I got older, I realized that they were in hell. Yeah, because you know how like as a kid, like you think that hell, like the way that is described to you is like flames or whatever. Like you don't think that like there's people out there fighting, having a tournament, right? Like so it was interesting, bro.
That's funny. No, but the Trunks that I like, bro, is the Trunks from the Frieza saga, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best Trunks there is, and with Hell, it's funny because. Like when Frieza on Super, when Frieza was in Hell, but he was like singing fairies. I'm like, man, like it's not that bad.
Yeah.
but it's just funny to me.
Yeah, I think Hell and GT was more believable because it was more dark. Like you couldn't really see anything. Like to a certain extent, in some places it was frozen. So I remember watching the Janemba movie. I was like, what the hell? Like I didn't think they were in hell, bro. And then as a kid, I mean, you don't really realize it.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it's like, bro, like it looks like a freaking like Candyland, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka shit, bro. Yeah, but you were saying, Chile, about like your top 5 animes. You were at Dragon Ball. You were at number 1.
Oh,
That's the top. That's the top. Always. Let's see. Number 2. I'll have to go with My Hero Academia. It's getting really good too. That's number 2. Love the characters. Number 3, Kimetsu no Yaiba. That's a good one. That one's Demon Slayer. One Punch Man, number 4. And number 5, what did I put at number 5?
Dragon Ball again.
Nah, I would probably put Bleach. Bleach is a good one.
Yeah.
No, that's funny.
Yeah, but you guys ever get a chance to watch any of those? They're really good.
I was gonna tell you, so since I heard you mention Demon Slayer, but you said it in Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Can you speak Japanese? You're like, yeah.
A little bit. I only know how to say like a few things, like Yoroshiku onegaishimasu, watashi wa Daniel.
What is it mean?
What do all that shit mean, dog?
Because I don't know. Cause you know how usually the people that like, yeah, they taught me, but only the bad words, you know.
Oh, gotcha. So that's me introducing myself. It's a thing like, hi, it's nice to meet you. My name is Daniel. And then another phrase I know is Bango wa desu ka? And then that's like, can I get your number? So I only know how to pick up chicks.
Let me find out.
That's pretty much what I know, and like how to say fluently, I guess.
That's cool.
And then every now and then, like the little phrases that they say in anime.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
I gotta learn how to say, let me get your number.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I love your mindset, man. I love like going back like to what you were saying, being persistent, being you know, all of that, you know, like being available, you know, and I really love your mindset, man, and we're grateful to have you on this podcast, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it for having me here.
And honestly, like we love having people like that adds value, you know, like to add value so that the listener, when they're listening, they're like, you know, they know what's up, you know. So
yeah, absolutely.
We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. What did I miss? I heard some laughing.
Because he was saying, because you know how I told him the words that he said in Japanese, what they meant. And one of them was like, "Can I get your number?" I was like, let me find out, but let me know how to say it so I can use it, you know.
Yeah, it's because I was telling him like all I know is how to pick up chicks in Japanese.
Oh yeah,
basically.
No, that's cool. Chill, Master Roshi.
Man, all right.
Hey man.
Are you gonna watch the new Demon Slayer movie? It comes out like next Friday, I believe.
Well, yeah, man. I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah?
The first one was just like, damn, man, that should hit.
Yeah.
The ending hit.
Ending.
Like, man,
that's what it was.
I didn't cry during Titanic, but
this one I might cry.
He cried mostly because his name was Ren Goku.
Goku. Loki. No, but like I was starting to like that character, you know?
Yeah.
Like I really like that character, so I was like, no, they killed the mom.
I like no, and then I was like, no Goku. I mean, no Ren Goku.
You see, he had him in mind, bro.
I know. I did. No lie.
Did you read the mangas for that, Danny?
This one, no, I haven't. No,
yeah, then I'm not gonna spoil it, bro. I didn't read it either, but I would watch like those little like snippets. They'll tell you like, hey, this happens, that happens, this happens. So, and I just kind of went through all of them, And basically, I went through the whole story basically. But
Gotcha.
but yeah, it should be interesting, bro. I mean, they're picking it up where they left off. So basically, this is the bridge to the new season. I don't know if you saw the last one, the Tenjin one.
I'm actually for that anime. I'm letting it build up a little bit, so I could just like binge watch. I'm more of a binge watcher.
All right, for sure. Yeah, because
that's a smart way to do it, bro. You don't want to wait. You don't want to wait for an episode. You know, like they did.
Yeah, like the only time I did that was in Dragon Ball. Only time.
Yeah, because like he throws one punch. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Like, man, bro. Like when I was a kid, I was like, do I really have to wait? Dang it! But now it's like these kids have it so easy, man. Like, you know.
It's true.
I remember watching Dragon Ball. I saw it in Spanish when Channel 22 used to be a thing. They used to have it on there. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that.
What was that? Telemundo or was it?
Nah, it was just Channel 22, bro. It had like a 22 and it had like a little it looked like rose petals around it. Yeah, and like a bunch of different colors. Yeah, bro, that shit used to be there on Spanish. And then I remember after that, I started watching it when we ended up having like those big black cable boxes on, what was it called? Toonami, right?
Oh, Toonami, yeah.
It was Toonami. It used to come out like in the afternoons after like Cartoon Network was done.
Yeah,
and then I remember I just stopped watching it for a little bit, right? Because we didn't end up having cable. And then I remember they brought it back as Dragon Ball Z Kai, no?
Yeah.
On Channel 5, right? I didn't even know what the difference was between those two were.
They skipped the filler. That's all it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh snap! I didn't even know that, bro. Okay, I just remember watching it one day. I'm like, what the hell? Like they have Dragon Ball for free now?
Yeah, like that's all it does. Like they fix like Kai fixes little like animation, and because a lot of people would complain about the animation back then.
Wow, ironic.
Yeah, ironic, right?
And that's the animation we want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. So they fix a little of the animation, color differences, like a little more brighter colors, and then they skip the filler. So basically, it's straight to the point, basically. So if you want to like watch it quick and like see what it's all about, like Kai would be a good start.
They remove the blood too, no?
And they remove, that's what I'm saying. Like little color changes, like more kind of kid down a little bit.
Yeah, because it used to be on Channel 5, and I mean, the kids are the only ones that were watching that.
Hey, it used to be on that WB Kids, right?
Yeah,
WB Kids.
There you go, Kids WB.
Yeah. I remember there too, you know. And then, but now, like I remember, like you know how obviously the shorts on Instagram and on Facebook, like you'll come across. I come across them a lot because I like everything that's Dragon Ball Z. I just like Spanish and Japanese, whatever. I just you know. And I can get more.
He said it. He thought about it.
But you were thinking it. But anyways, but I came across like some videos where they took out the blood. That's why I was gonna mention it, but you mentioned it first, and I was very disappointed because obviously, like, we live in that type of age where like a lot of things can get offensive, you know, and so I don't know. To me, it's like I don't know if you can hear my dog hitting the door, but she's like, "Let me in." Nah, but let me in. I wanna speak about Dragon Ball Z real quick. But I just didn't like it. I don't like what they did with all of that, you know. But,
I mean, that's what I was kind of disappointed too. I was like, man, like that sucks. Like, don't you guys already have like the ocean version of Dragon Ball? It's like the worst version.
Yeah.
Like freaking Popo's blue for some reason.
What?
The dub sucks. Like the voice is just like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know. It's just bad. Like I don't know if you guys ever seen the ocean version of it.
I haven't. I didn't even know about that.
I just seen. I think it's called the abridged version, where like they make fun of it.
Oh, okay. The abridged is funny. Team 4 Star is funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Team 4 Star like really nails it.
That's just funny.
Like, if you ever get the chance, you should watch it.
Yeah, watch it, bro.
Team 4 Star like really. That's just funny. The movies too. They do the movies too.
Yeah, they do.
So they have an order like in an album.
What is that? Is it like comedy or what?
Yeah, it's comedy.
Okay.
They basically do a voiceover on all characters, and they literally just retell the story, but like in their own way. But it's pretty accurate and like it's funny. Like
I think I came across them, but some videos, some shorts, but they were like talking all like nasty, right?
Not like nasty, but like
It's like dumb, bro. It's like really
yeah,
stupid.
it's just dumb. Like
It's dumb as hell.
yeah, like that's how it is. That's how it is. And then like
Yeah.
yeah, but absolutely the worst one is Ocean. That's just
I've never seen
you
it.
know, one day just look it up just for like shits and giggles. But like yeah, you'll see what I mean.
So Ocean, like the ocean.
Yeah, Ocean. Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing about Dragon Ball is that like since now it's like a worldwide thing,
Yeah,
they have different versions of it.
of course.
So you're always gonna get the best version and the Japanese version.
Yeah.
That's when they show the blood, they show the original characters, everything. Then we have the dubbed version, which is the American version. That's the one where like we get the Toonami. That's when we get Kai. That's when we get like I guess they changed like some voice actors on those. And then you have the Ocean version. That's for worldwide, outside of US. Outside of US and Japan. And then you got the Latin version. That's the Mexican version.
Yeah.
So, and then there's a Latin Ocean. There's this whole thing.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Different versions of it.
I think they do that for cultural
you-
differences, no? Like
They
you know
do
how,
that for cultural differences. Like, for example, the movie Battle of Gods, the Japanese version, Beerus is holding chopsticks. And then there's a version, the dub version, where I believe they change him to, like, I think he's just holding, like
a spoon,
a fork or a spoon, yeah. And those are, like, the little cultural differences.
Yeah.
Like, I guess like, some people catch on to it, some people don't, but, you know.
Hey,
Yeah.
Can I show the painting that you drew me?
Yeah, show 'em.
All right, so I want to show you a picture that Alex drew me right here. I want to see.
Yeah.
Check that out.
Oh yeah, I think you were posting about it, right?
Yeah, that's
painted
like
it.
from
Yeah.
step by step.
And then these are my things, but I'm just trying to set everything up. But these are all my.
That's what's up. Oh, you got the drinks too? Nice. Oh yeah.
It's all
That's what's
Goku,
up.
bro. It's all Goku.
That's what's up.
Shaking my head. That's like,
No, yeah, it's all good. We're not at my place. I will show you, but I'm at my office.
Oh, that's so cool.
you,
That's
know,
what's up.
you know what's funny, dude? I'm gonna tell you a funny thing. Like, I didn't collect fucking Funko Pops, bro. Like, literally for my birthday. Like, out of nowhere, bro. I really don't know why people didn't come up with a brand new idea. I mean, I'm grateful for the gift, bro. But, fool, somebody gave me a Funko Pop. Then another person gave me another one. They're like, oh, and then I would post them like, hey, bro, thank you. And then, like, the next person that would send me, that would give me something, it'd be another Funko Pop. And before you know it, bro, I have, like 6 fucking Funko Pops with DBZ, bro, which I'm very grateful for, bro. But people would ask me, like, you collect those? I'm like, bro, like, I didn't collect them. Like, people just started gifting them to me out of nowhere.
Dude, I feel you on that. Literally same. Every Funko Pop I have has been gifted to me.
Yeah.
And like, I guess they just assumed that I collect them. I was like, cool.
Yeah,
I was
basically.
like, all right, I guess. I mean, I like it. I'm grateful for them too, you know.
And now the older we get, we're just grateful for underwear and socks, right?
Yeah,
pretty
basically.
much. You know, like you know what? I needed some socks.
Yeah, it's what like you buy socks. I don't know if it just happens to me, but I just buy socks and then I don't know, for some reason I don't have socks anymore.
Yeah.
I know, right? You're like, what happens to them?
Takes them, you know what I mean? It's funny because last year my brother was like, "Hey, what do you want for your birthday?" And I was like, "Bro, I don't care. I want either some socks or underwear." And my sister-in-law was like, "You're old, bro," and I'm like, "Hey, don't be judging me."
My back.
Okay, this fucking team, man. Fuck, that's
And then it's funny.
Spinal.
And then it's funny though because last year on my birthday, she's like, "Oh, happy birthday!" And then I was like, "Okay," so I opened it up and it was a shirt, and she's like, "Look, I don't know you and tu mentado Goku. I don't know if that's Goku or not, but it was Goku." And I was like, "You know him?" And I was like, "Yeah, because that's how you do. That's how you post it." Like she went to the store and told him, "Do you have this character?"
You got this guy.
You have this
He's on a wanted. He's on a wanted poster. Do you have this guy? I want this guy.
That's funny.
I was so happy, man. It was pretty cool, man. That she did that, you know, because even if it was just like anything, like a shirt or whatever, like even like whatever, like it's the thought that counts, you know.
Yeah.
And my nieces gave me a Dragon Ball Z thing, and I'm just like, you know, I mean, for Christmas, they gave me like a freaking Dragon Ball little thing, and I'm just, that's cool, man. You know, I have the Dragon Balls, but I can't make a wish. I don't know why. I would have been Bill.
No, you know what? Another character I love is Shenron. I love Shenron, and that's just because I love dragons.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was gonna ask you because I know on your card in the back I seen like a dragon.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. I was gonna ask. That's cool.
So,
he copyrighted Mortal Kombat.
The story, yeah, right.
I'm just playing.
The story behind the dragon and why it's like eating itself.
Yeah.
So it's eating itself. That's it's an Ouroboros. That's what it's called. So in many cultures, what that means is basically like eternal life, because the snake has to, or it's usually a snake or a dragon, depending on what culture. The snake has to eat itself to survive, and essentially it's continuously like in a cycle.
That's crazy.
So Kaizen is continuous improvement eternally.
Oh, shit.
Eternally, continuously improving. So that's the mindset behind all that, like, I guess, imagery you see, or what it stands for, you know. And we're not just selling like clothes, you know. We're also sending like a message, or like that mindset of what Kaizen is.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you sell, like, is it just like shirts and stuff like that, or like what, sweaters?
Yeah, like sweaters. We have joggers, shorts, cool. Dresses, workout stuff, equipment here and there.
That's cool.
Cases for iPhones, stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't know. You want to say for the listeners the website? So.
Yeah, absolutely. Just look up Kaizen's Goods. So it's KAIZENS goods.com, and then they'll take you straight to the website. And we have some cool stuff, man.
Pretty cool. Yeah, man. I'm gonna take that out myself.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So
later, I guess I could kind of share with you guys the QR code too. That makes it easier.
Oh yeah. That'd be cool. We could probably share it on our Instagram, bro. I mean, we don't necessarily have a lot of followers, but I could just share it around on Sincerely-Unmatched and on the big page too.
Yeah,
because we connected basically the podcast to, you know, my Unmatched work ethic page. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's been a struggle. So, anything you guys want to say? I think we close down the show now. I mean, I'm pretty sure some of you guys have stuff to do.
Hey, I'm just saying my food got cold.
Yeah.
But it's okay though. That's how there's microwaves, right?
Yeah.
No, but you know how we usually do it, Alex. You know.
Yeah. But so, anything you want to say before I ask?
Oh, me? No. I wanted to say, I learned a lot today. Thank you for that great message of continuous improvement. So it was very nice to meet you, man, and thank you for sharing your mindset with me and to the listeners.
Yeah, man. Happy to be here, man, and I appreciate you guys having me here. Always a pleasure, and I wouldn't mind coming back any other time.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I'm just happy that you took the time out of your busy schedule to, you know, share basically what you've been up to, life struggles, like everything, you know, just being able to chop it up from very serious topics to, of course, more fun topics like Dragon Ball Z and Goku, right? So I'm just happy to have you on, and at the same time, our goal, bro, is eventually, you know, everybody that we have on to, you know, bring it full circle, bro. Like, pop them up, bring them up again and again. That way we could actually create like a good network where we're able to establish and build with one another. You feel me? Like, I think that it would be very hypocritical of us to just like have you guys on one time and be talking about leadership and networking, and, and just be like, oh yeah, like we're just gonna use them for one podcast and see you later. Nah, bro, like our goal, bro, is basically to have everybody on. We just kind of want to get through everybody at least once, and then if you give us the time of your day, we would love to have you on again for a second time around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because at the same time, bro, like we're like it's kind of like testing the waters, see like basically who we want to interact with a little bit more, and who we feel like next time that we have you on, like we're a little bit more prepared because we kind of already have like a gist of the vibe that you're gonna come up with. You feel me? So we just kind of want to get through everybody at least one time, and then as I mentioned, we'll hit you up or message us, or we'll message you basically, and then we can have you on for a second time and make it a whole lot more more interesting, more spicy. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I just want to thank you and and really want to say, man, thank you for being a good friend. Thank you for being a good spokesperson on this podcast. I mean, you could have been doing something else, or you could have like taken all of this as like fuck, like hueva, nah, we don't want to talk. We're just gonna keep it basic. So I'm happy that you kind of went very insightful and deep with things. And one thing that I always like to do before I close down the show, and I basically tell this to every guest, or if it's just both of us, I always ask Pedro. So before we leave, what's one piece of advice that you would tell anybody that's listening right now that they could actually apply to their life?
Okay. One piece of advice I could, I guess, leave everyone with is write down your goal, and whenever whatever part in your life that you're in, whether you're struggling or it's good, just don't lose track of that goal. Stay persistent. And if you could have someone like Pedro here that keeps his friend accountable, have people hold you accountable. That's very important too. Keep your circle with quality people. That's something that's very important. That's something I think everyone could agree with that.
Yeah. So thank you for your message, bro. And I mean, anything you want to say, bro, before you want to close out? Anything random? any questions you have for any of us?
I guess me or
for everybody, bro. For me, Pedro, the listeners, anybody, bro.
Yeah. Okay. I guess from there, just keep at it. Check the merch.
Kaizen Goods.
Kaizen Goods. And I look forward for the next time we do a podcast, man. Like, hopefully we could all meet in person sometime too.
Fuck yeah.
And I just want to say one thing too. So now, what I'm gonna start doing every day, I'm gonna start waking up with a smile on my face.
Absolutely.
So that's what I kind of got to as well. Like, you have that good vibe, man. You're through this whole podcast, you were just smiling all the time.
That's
So
what it is.
that's how it is, and count it all joy. You know what I mean? So that's what I got from this as well. So appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'm glad you guys got something out of it too.
Oh yeah,
that's what it's all about.
Sure. No, yeah, for sure, bro. I'm gonna take away a lot of key points, and maybe if PLAP comes around sometime in the summer, we could just hang out for a little bit. That way you can meet him, because he's met a lot of my friends, but I don't think he's ever met you, bro.
No.
Well, first time for everything, we can make it happen. Or if it comes down to us coming to you, that's fine too.
Yeah, sounds good, bro.
Always welcome, but hopefully for sure, it'll be cool to meet you in person and maybe go eat somewhere or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll go eat ramen
go to Charlie's, right? Oh, ramen,
there you go.
Right?
There you go. Go down Little Tokyo. I know the spots.
Hey. All right, I'm gonna be hitting you up then, bro.
He's gonna hit you up, bro. You said food. He's gonna hit you up.
Yeah, I got the spots. No worries.
Hey, but when we meet, have a Dragon Ball Z shirt on.
Please.
Absolutely.
All right then, guys. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Peace.
Likewise.